And welcome to the BBQn Sports podcast, where we talk all things Kansas City sports, barbecue, beer, and more. This is Jason Weaver with my co-host Kelsey Moore as we lead you off into the next inning. First of all, we're going to review last week's Chiefs game, preview next week's Chiefs game. Then we're going to talk about the beer that we picked out for this week, and then we'll recap a little bit on the Royals. First of all, though, we do have a $25 gift card to give away this week, brought to you by Hy-Vee. Thank you, Josh, for hooking us up with that $25 gift card. If you would like to be entered into that drawing, all you got to do is subscribe and comment your favorite Kansas City barbecue. All right, to get us kicked off, obviously the Chiefs lost last week. We could probably talk all night long about how terrible of a game it was and all the bad things. But let's kick it off with something good. I want to hear some good stuff that came out of that game, if there was any. So, Kelsey, what you got?
Yeah, I think, like you said, we could go on about stuff that went wrong. The offense looked good. The offense looked I should rephrase that. The things that you expect on the offense looked good. Patrick Mahomes looked good. The offensive line looked pretty good. We still struggle to run the ball. I think that's a mixture of defensive line getting pressure on us and Clyde Edwards-Helaire I just don't think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is what we thought he was. But we moved the ball well against a pretty good defense, who, yes, they're missing a couple players, but I'd still say a top 10 defense in the league, and we pretty much moved the ball well against them. Tyrann Mathieu was back. He had a couple interceptions. He looked good. There's a lot of things that come out of that game. We're 1-1. We played against two playoff teams that took a late game fumble to get one of those losses. Our run defense didn't look good. I get it. The fact is we're going to lose games. It's going to happen. We have 17 games this year. All 17 games, our opponent is going to come in thinking it's their Super Bowl. They're going to come. They see the Chiefs on the schedule. They're like, man, we're going to get hyped for this game. Did you see the Ravens after that game?
Yeah.
They in the locker room, they act like they just won the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
And if the Chiefs had won, it would have been handshakes, and that's good for a Chiefs victory. How about them Chiefs? Andrew would have said. That would have been it.
Would have been just another day as well.
It's impossible to get up for 17 games. Like, you can't expect the Chiefs to be hyped like their opponents will be all 17 games. Lamar Jackson hadn't beat Patrick Mahomes until Monday night. They wanted that game, and we still kind of gave it to them at the end. We kind of gifted it to them. And they went for it on that 4th and 1 because they didn't want Patrick Mahomes back on the field.
Absolutely.
I can promise you that. And it was funny in the postgame, the coach said, I turned to Lamar Jackson, and he's like, yeah, go for it. Let's get this 4th and 1. And he said, the defensive line was like, yeah, go for it. The defensive line wanted you to go for it because they didn't have to go after Patrick Mahomes again. The defensive line did not want to go back out there.
Either you went for it and you got the first down, the game's over, or you gave the ball back to Patrick Mahomes. You had two options, so you might as well have kept it in Lamar Jackson's hands.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we can go on and on about what went wrong. Everyone just needs to relax, as Aaron Rodgers would say. It's one game. Kansas City is up in a fuss about nothing. We weren't going to go 20-0. It's just not realistic.
Everybody believes
we're fine. We're still the class of the AFC.
Everybody believes we lost the Super Bowl week 2.
Yeah, it's insane, man. I've never seen. And I remember when the Chiefs, we used to get excited. Like, we used to be hyped about a win, and a loss would just be another thing. I'm glad that Kansas City's upset about a loss because it's a different time, but just calm down. Yeah. It's okay.
Let's be honest. There's a lot of season left. There's a lot of season for the defense to improve. We have figured out now what our problem is. It's week 2. So we got 15 more games. 15 more games before playoffs. We got 15 games to figure out how to fix this and win some playoff games.
And to build off that, we've allowed the most rushing yards in the NFL to this point. We've also played the best 2 running teams in the NFL to this point. The Ravens and the Browns are the 2 best running teams in the NFL.
Everybody kept saying, though, but they were without their first and second and third string running backs. But look who they picked up. They were not a bad – and they still have Lamar Jackson. They're still a threat in the backfield.
Lamar Jackson And two, look at the last 6 years for Baltimore. They've had a different guy leading the rushing every year. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter. It's the system. It's not the guy.
I agree. And Lamar Jackson he was in form. I mean, he was very good
Yeah, and
out
you
there.
you have to give the Ravens credit. I mean, Lamar played great. Um, I mean, yeah. I mean, the defense couldn't stop us. That's the thing. Like everyone's worried. The defense looks terrible. There's maybe a few teams in the NFL that can run the ball the whole game and keep up the Chiefs scoring because we're gonna score. It's like the Chiefs are gonna. They still scored 35 points. Like they're gonna score. It's gonna happen. Uh, yeah, it's a whole lot of fuss about nothing. It's one loss that no one. Think about the time we beat. We remember that game we were at. We beat the. That might be the picture from it. We beat the Patriots 41-14 in the regular season because
Yeah,
we were hyped for that game. How many times
yeah,
have we beat the Patriots during the regular season? We were hyped for that game, and then come playoff time, it didn't mean anything.
yeah.
The Patriots ended up going to the Super Bowl. And we ended up going home early.
Didn't matter. So going back to Hilaire, obviously so far this season, it's only 2 games in. He's really underperformed. Do you think Andy Reid's going to taper back a little bit, or do you think this is going to be the week that he really gives him the ball and tries to build that confidence back up?
So it's really funny. The Chiefs are the worst rushing defense in the NFL. The Chargers are the second worst rushing defense in the NFL right now. We are the two worst run defenses in the NFL right now. And I expect to see a whole lot of passing this week. I don't see either team to try and. I think the Chiefs will run the ball the same amount they always do. I don't think they're going to try and pound it down the Chargers' throat because it would be really dumb to take the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. Like Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, Tyreek Hill. That's how our offense moves. Clyde Edwards-Helaire will get some carries, but it's not like we're going to give him the ball 25 times. Um, we'll use him. I was really surprised. What I was surprised about this week is we ran on like every single first down, and we would get a 2 yard loss almost every time. Like I just as brilliant as Andy Reid is and his play calling and the stuff he comes up with, like I just don't understand how he thinks we should just run every first down. And that was pretty much how it was all game against the Ravens. We ran basically every first down. I think I saw a stat. I think that there were 18 carries and like 13 of them were on first down or something stupid like that. Like I don't know.
So, yeah, so obviously this week's really hard to talk about the good without rolling into the bad, and we've already touched on a little bit of the bad. Everybody knows that the defense was horrible. I think Hilaire is getting a lot of the brunt end of this, but honestly, it wasn't just his fault that we lost this game. The majority of it's really on the defense to begin with. But also,
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes tried to make a play that 8 times out of 10 he usually makes, and I still want him to keep trying to make those plays, but that pick was unnecessary. And honestly, the worst play of the game, in my opinion, was at the end of the second half when we had them 3rd and 29, and they ran for 25 yards and were able to get 3 free points.
so I want to say Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumble. I'm not blaming the game on Clyde Edwards-Helaire by any means. Like yeah, you got to protect the ball in that situation, but it happens. My complaints with Clyde Edwards-Helaire is he just hasn't looked good. The running game's been anemic, and the first game I was excited about the offensive line because it looked like they created a few holes here and there. But against the Ravens, there was nowhere to run. Clyde Edwards-Helaire couldn't get anywhere. The pass blocking looked fine. My only complaint about that is Patrick Mahomes needs to step up in the pocket more instead of trying to leave the pocket so quick. Um, Pass blocking wise, the offensive line's been good. That game, we didn't have anywhere to run ever.
So,
Uh,
so obviously with Hilaire, again, he did fumble the ball. They still had to go for it on 4th down to keep it out of our hands. The game, the game was really it was on the defense. Just really bad, poorly played game.
yeah, I mean, when your offense is scoring 30 some points and you can't win a game, it's not your offense's fault you lost the game. Offense made some mistakes. Defense made a lot more mistakes. The run defense was terrible. Daniel Sorensen, when we put 6 guys in the box, 7 guys in the box, and Daniel Sorensen's forced to guard anyone man to man, they're just going to throw to him because he can't guard anybody man to man. I don't even hate Daniel Sorensen like some people do, but he just can't play man defense on somebody.
So
Um,
so Tyreek Hill had 14 yards on 3 receptions, but that didn't stop Mahomes from passing for 343 yards. He did a really good job spreading the ball around. Maybe this is the first time I've seen the fullback, but I think he caught 2 passes, or was it just one? I don't know, but it just seemed like he was in there more than Hilaire was catching passes because he was. First of all, Hilaire didn't catch a pass again.
so yeah, the Ravens made it clear going into the game. They said that they were going to do their best to stop Tyreek, and you could see that in the game. They had man coverage, and then they always had somebody over the top of him.
Nine
Um,
receivers, not 9 different receivers caught a ball.
yeah, and see, so week one we had to rely on Kelsey and Hill, and I complained saying we couldn't do that every week. And then what do we do? Come back week two and throw to 9 different guys.
Yeah,
So I mean,
try to shut down our 2 top guys, and one of them's still going to get 109 yards, and then we're going to spread the ball out and still crush your defense.
I just the only thing on the offensive side is we've got to figure out something in the run game, and I don't even know that we really do need to figure out something in the run game. Maybe just don't run it on first down every time.
So
Um,
here's an interesting
Sprinkle in some runs every once in a while to keep the defense a little bit off balance.
here's what worries me a little bit with the run game is the Ravens blitz rate was only 18% that game. 18.2%. So and that's significantly lower against us in the previous 3 years where it's been over 40. So they were really dropping back, obviously, or and not playing that aggressive on the front line, and we still couldn't run the ball.
Yeah, but I mean that's a deceiving stat because I remember how I said that the Ravens should not blitz so much against Patrick Mahomes. I guess they listened to our podcast. I don't know. But that's a deceiving stat because you don't always blitz to stop the run. It's more about
It's
containment, like
yeah,
keeping your
I agree.
containment. So that's a deceiving stat there. I think they were smart though that they've had corner injuries, so they didn't try and keep their guys on islands, blitzing 6 guys like they have in the past against us because Mahomes has torched them every time they've done it. The teams that have success against us, which they really didn't have success against us in the passing game, but the teams who have success against us shutting down our passing game are teams that can blitz 4 guys and still get to Mahomes, blitzing 4 guys, can drop 7. There
Yeah.
aren't very many teams in the league that can do that, and especially when our O line is so much better than it was. But if you can find a way to blitz 4 and get to Mahomes and drop 7, and usually it's teams that drop 7 in zone. They don't even try and play man with somebody over the top or anything. They're playing straight up zone 7 guys in zone coverage. For some reason, Mahomes has trouble against any kind of defense that can get to us with 4 guys.
All right. Well, before we move on to next week's preview, I did predict 34-24. Obviously, we were both wrong. You projected 31-17. Final score 35-36. Still feel like I was a little closer again this week. So,
Both of us would have lost the bet
all
if we
right.
had been on the
Yeah,
line.
yeah, we both would have lost the bet. My uncle also lost his bet. So, all right, moving on to next week, or this week against the Chargers. You already kind of touched a little bit on when you thought it was going to be a very pass-heavy game. I think this will be a really good game. I do predict. I mean, obviously, I think the AFC is a lot harder than it has been the last 2 years. Herbert, he is up on the top 5 right now in passing yards, right? So they're going to pass the ball a lot with them. What's your thoughts on this coming game?
The Chargers put up a lot of yardage, and they've looked good. I think they're a good team. I don't think they're a great team yet. I think they're a good team. I think they're right there in the middle of the pack, 14 to 20 range if I was ranking all the teams. The only thing is, they put up a lot of yards last week against the Cowboys and scored 17 points. If they want to beat us, they're
And
going to have to score a lot more
yeah,
than 17 points.
and the week before they only won with 20.
Well, Herbert threw 2 costly interceptions last week. Um, they just got to be able to finish drives, though. And like I said, if they're granted, they didn't go against our defense the last 2 weeks either. So, maybe with our going against our defense, they'll finish drives. I think it'll be a good game. I think the Chiefs will win. I don't.
mean, I'd like to say 2 picks to guarantee that we're going to win, but I guess last week that we were proved wrong with that. So I'm
Yeah,
not going to make that
Honey
statement.
Badger.
I'm not going to make that statement this week. Yeah, Honey Badger tears it up and gets 2 picks. If you told me last week that we were going to have 2 picks and lose the game, I'd tell you were crazy. So I mean, that's hopefully.
The other thing we didn't really touch on about last week, Frank Clark was back, and no one even knew it because you didn't even see him in the game.
You know what? I want to back up a little bit here. Do we need to put Chris Jones back at D tackle? I mean, not that he is
So
not effective at
I was
end,
actually gonna say something
but he
about
was
that.
it was so bad up the gut, man. Like his linky arms and his reach in the middle, get him back in there. Like I do
I don't
not want to
know
see another
because
game like that.
he wasn't great against the run the 2 years he was at D tackle either, or the couple years he was at D tackle either. He was a great pass rusher, but never great against the run. And he had 2 sacks the first week. I know he only had 1 tackle last week.
But
Didn't even
Lamar
rush
Jackson's
for the
not
40 or anything
exactly
like that.
the easiest quarterback to get sacks and tackles on either.
No,
So
no, no. I agree. I agree. But our D line is right back where it was. It has not been good the last 2 weeks, and Frank Clark is I I can't say he's the biggest waste of money ever because we might not have won the Super Bowl without him. He did come up big in those playoffs, but if you exclude the 2019 playoff, 2018, 2019, no, 2019, 2020 season when we won the Super Bowl, and if you exclude those playoffs, he's been such a waste of money.
so it's
Like he's definitely gone after this year. There's no doubt about it. We're not picking up anything. He's gone.
So it's really funny, about this matchup because last week Mahomes had 343 yards, obviously against a different team, but Herbert had 338 yards. His running back Eckler had 54 yards, and ours had 46 yards. So really, their pass to run ratio is kind of similar in production. Really, Herbert did throw for 41 times.
Yeah, the Chargers like to throw the ball. Eckler's a good pass catcher out of the backfield, but they don't really just run him a lot. So like I was saying earlier, I expect it to be a lot of passing in this game. You would like to say since the Chargers' run defense is so terrible that we're just going to be able to run it down their throat, but everyone and their dog knows that's not going to happen, and you're
So
not going to take the ball out of Mahomes' hands.
So
Uh,
I agree. I do see a possibility of Andy Reid giving Hilaire the ball or the red zone, giving him an opportunity to score, and I think it happens more than once next week. I think he's going to try to build up confidence in Hilaire. I don't think he's done. I don't think he's given up on him yet.
Yeah, I don't think he'll give up on him by any means. And that is a good point. Andy does go. I remember a couple times last year, Hardman dropped a pass or something, so he'd immediately go back to him for a touchdown. Or
Yeah,
he did in the Super Bowl, actually. Hardman dropped that pass and went to him for a touchdown against the 49ers a couple years ago.
yeah.
He
Somebody
does like to boost the guy's confidence like that.
somebody asked
And
me
you
about
say
some.
Clyde words
Yeah,
later.
somebody asked me about fantasy advice this week, and if they should bench Hilaire, and I told them this would probably be the worst week to bench Hilaire, mostly because I think Andy Reid will go to him in key moments to build up his confidence. I really believe that.
Yeah. I could see him having like 50 yards rushing and a touchdown or something. I don't think he'll go off or anything, but
2 touchdowns.
um, maybe. And this week, I expect there to be a lot of passing. I expect us to win. I expect it to be close for probably. I think the Chargers will be in it, but I think we'll pull away in the second half. Uh, I what did I predict last week? 31-17.
31-17 was your prediction. You gonna stick with that?
All right. Now I'm gonna go 38 to 38 to 27.
Oh, wow. Ours are going to be kind of similar. I'm going 35-31 Chiefs. Not a lot of confidence again in our defense, so
We're going
I
close
do
game.
I do predict it to be a closer game than we expect. But obviously, we'll come out with a win. Again, like you said earlier, this is everybody's Super Bowl. Obviously, the Chargers are going to play us twice, but every team we play this year, this is the game that they want to win. I mean,
Yeah, but I feel like coming off a loss is the worst time to see us. I mean, if we're not pumped up for this game, then we might as well just throw in the towel this season because We just came off a loss against the Ravens. Everyone's doubting us. We better be focused in on this game.
They're going to show up, I promise you. All right, well, moving on. Let's get to our beer of the day. So this is not from Lawrence, actually. It is from Manhattan, Kansas. For some reason, I was thinking it was from Lawrence. So we got Tallgrass Brewing Company Oatmeal Cream Stout. Now, I've had... Oh, sorry. Tallgrass Brewing Company Buffalo Sweat Oatmeal Cream Stout. So I've had a Tallgrass beer before, and I thought it was this, but I don't think it was oatmeal cream stout. So this might be something different.
Yeah, I've had some Tallgrass. I actually had a variety pack. I think you might have had one of mine when we were living in Overland Park. I had a variety pack of Tallgrass at one time.
If this isn't what I had before, it's very similar. So definitely, it's got some coffee flavor or chocolate flavor, you'd say.
It definitely has coffee flavor.
Yeah, if you like coffee beer, this is a pretty good one. I wouldn't say it's my favorite coffee beer. I do like coffee beers.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really care for coffee or coffee beers. But this beer isn't terrible. I'm the wrong person to rate it because I don't care for coffee or coffee beers. I'd say I give it a 7.5.
Okay, sticking with the 7.5, huh? Okay, well, again, I do like.
Last week I gave it like an 8.5.
Well, no, but the week before it was a 7. You were gonna pick the 7 thing as me on the very first one.
Yeah,
the first week. So, all right. Well, Tallgrass Brewing Company Buffalo Sweat Oatmeal Cream Stout. It is 5% alcohol. I'm gonna go an 8.1. I think it's a good coffee beer. I've definitely had worse. It's not my favorite one by any means, but it is good. So if you like coffee beer, it's definitely worth trying. But I'm not going to go out on a limb and tell you it's the best one I've ever had.
Yeah, it's honestly not bad. I can drink it. It wouldn't be what I would choose.
Okay, so moving on to the Royals. Won't be too much to cover here, but Salvador Perez is now the leader for the most home runs in a season by a catcher ever. Pretty impressive. I don't know if you've seen the story, Kelsey, but it was a Cleveland fan that caught the ball, and he was claiming that he knew how much Salvy's contract was, which was an easy Google search, and so he wasn't going to give up the ball. I believe he did end up giving it up recently, but I don't think they said what he actually got. And they were offering him a little bit of everything. Of course, he was a Cleveland fan, so it was at Kauffman. So what are you going to offer him? Does he really want a baseball bat from a Royals player? Probably not. So I can tell you what I'd want if I'd caught it. I wouldn't give it away right away either. First of all, I want Salvy's catcher's gear. I know it's in the store, so I want that. I want a George Brett signed ball and a Royals Mahomes signed jersey. That's what I want. That's what I'd ask for. That's it. Just small. I think the catcher's gear is like $3,000 in the authentic store, but that's what I'd ask for.
What are you gonna do with the catcher's gear?
I don't know. I was thinking about that. How do you display it? Seriously, what do you do? What do you do with it?
You could have said a lot of things there that you could display in your man cave or whatever. But you picked the catcher's gear?
I know. It's one of the things I want, though. Like, I've always wanted it ever since I've seen it. He's signed every piece or whatever. Like, that's what I want.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah.
You'd be like wearing your catcher's gear on Halloween or something.
Like, does the display come? Does the display come with it? Because I don't have, like, a mannequin to put this catcher's gear on. I guess I'd have to buy a mannequin.
Oh, no.
A Salvy-sized mannequin.
Oh, no.
All right, so what would it take to get the ball from you? If you had caught the ball, what would it take for you to give it up?
I think that the first thing I would ask for is 4 season tickets next year. So me, you, Caitlin, and Emily can go to all the Royals games we want to next year. And then I would ask for Chiefs season tickets. And then I'd ask for a Mahomes signed Royals jersey. That's it.
Okay.
That's just going to affect them that year. I mean, after that, they'll be fine.
I think if they give us upper deck, it'd be about the same as the Chiefs or the catcher's gear. So I mean, it's like on the same page.
Nah, I'm asking for lower deck. We're not getting upper deck.
Oh, okay.
I have Salvy's record-breaking home run ball. We're getting lower deck, boy. Heck, we might be in. What's the seats that you sit in at the Royals games?
The crown seats.
Yeah, we're gonna be in crown seats at Royals games. We're gonna be at the luxury box at the Chiefs games, and we're getting the luxury box with the food. We're not paying extra for the food. We're getting all the food and all the Bud Light and the crappy beer that they can give us.
How much do you think that ball's worth? Because the 4 tickets down there, season tickets, that's like $120,000.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
I don't know.
I believe I believe it's close to $32,000 a year to have a season ticket down there.
All right, we won't go down in
Just
those areas.
Just one ticket for the whole year.
No, we got to get 4.
I know. I'm just saying that's what it costs us. I believe it's like $32,000.
So we'll be like middle of the bottom deck or something. Then I don't care.
Oof.
We don't have to be down there.
All right. So the Royals 5-5 in the last 10 games. Almost about to hit that 70 win mark. Still playing Cleveland. I mean, there's still a good chance to jump Cleveland and Detroit. Cleveland's still sliding. Detroit's about to pass them. So there's a real good opportunity here still with 10 games left, 11 games for us.
So realistically, it's not really that possible. The Royals would have to go. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So think about it. The Tigers and Indians both have 74 wins. The Indians have 12 games left. The Tigers have 10 games left. Say they were horrible and only somehow won 3 games. The Royals would have to go 8-2 to even tie them. It's not possible.
Hey, we sweep Cleveland.
They're finishing 4th in division.
We still got 5 games against Cleveland, so we take those from Cleveland. We got 3 games against Detroit. I'm a believer, baby.
Even if we take the 5 against Cleveland, that puts us at 74-83, and them at 74-81. So they have 2 extra games there to pick up just 1 win, and that time left.
Not gonna happen.
I'm not saying. I guess I shouldn't say it couldn't happen. It could. It's very, very unlikely.
We're about to get that Royals late season push that gets everybody excited for next year, thinking we're gonna win the pennant next year.
I'm pretty sure in episode 1 of this podcast, I said the Royals were going to win 74 games. Granted, that was only 2 weeks ago, but I still think they're going to win 74 games.
Got to be hopeful.
Finish the season 74-88. That's not terrible. They'll build off of it next year, maybe. Hopefully, they won't take a step back. Salvador Perez leads the majors, tied for the lead in the majors in home runs, and leads by himself in RBIs. He's about to get a double crown. We're going to reinvent the triple crown and give him a double crown. He's going to lead the league in homers and RBIs.
In other Kansas City-related baseball news, the Kansas City Monarchs baseball team, they did win their championship. It is the American Association title. So, big news. I know you really like the T-Bones games. I haven't yet been out to either a T-Bones game or a Monarchs game. But still kind of exciting, you know. It's Kansas City news. Bring another championship to Kansas City.
So on top of that, you mentioned the Monarchs there. A team that we kind of want to start covering that we honestly neither one of us pay much attention to is Sporting KC. They're winning the Western Conference right now in MLS. They play the 26th. They play Seattle here in Kansas City. Man, we're gonna have to go to a game. I've been to one, and it was a lot of fun.
Can somebody walk me through these standings? Like, I don't understand.
It goes by points.
Oh, okay. So
matches played is MP's matches played.
Oh, gotcha.
They have 13 wins and 7 draws. So I think they get 3 points for a win and 1 point for a draw. Yeah, that's right. I just realized they play Seattle on the 26th. That's the second place team in the Western Conference. That's a big game.
We might need to go to that game. When do they play? The 26th?
26th? What day is that? 23rd?
Well, that's Sunday.
That's
okay.
Depends on who the Chiefs play that day.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to any Sporting KC games if they play on Sunday.
Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. As always, we appreciate all the listeners. Make sure you go look at that TikTok. Give us a follow on TikTok. Subscribe on YouTube and comment your favorite barbecue place for an opportunity to be put in the running for a $25 gift card brought to you by Hy-Vee. YouTube, TikTok are our two main platforms right now. We also do have a Twitter, but we've been pretty slow on there. But as always, we appreciate you guys. Keep on smoking the meats.
The meats.